Have you been impacted by the government's response to COVID-19 in the UK? Many of us have been angered and frustrated by what has occurred over the last couple of years and have felt like that we have not had a voice. Well, now you have the chance to have your say. The COVID-19 inquiry in the UK has launched a new online process where you can now share how the pandemic has impacted your life over the past couple of years. The response to COVID-19 has created the most significant blanket interference to our individual and collective liberties that we've witnessed in modern history. Lockdowns forced us into isolation, where we were prevented from spending time with our friends and family. We missed seeing young ones grow up. We were prevented from taking care of our elderly. We were unable to socialize, eat out, hug our friends, celebrate special occasions, or even attend funerals to say goodbye to our loved ones. We went through prolonged periods without access to well-being facilities, gyms, and we were unable to play sport or take part in our hobbies or leisure activities, or even access self-care like haircuts or beauty treatments. All live entertainment, music, and sport was cancelled. We were unable to plan or take holidays or travel. And even when restrictions were lifted, many were still too afraid to leave their homes, see their friends and family, or go back to work, or even send their children to school because of the relentless fear-based public health messaging. This all forced a complete loss of human connection with no human touch, hugs, no relationships, no dating. And we're now feeling the devastating impact of these policies that have been enacted over the last couple of years, including within the economy, where the cost of living crisis is now rampant. Trillions have been added to national debts. Millions of workers were furloughed over the last few years. Millions of businesses were forced to close, even some forced to close down permanently or cease trading. The healthcare system practically shut its doors to almost everything but COVID-19, which has resulted in significant delays in diagnosis and treatments for major health conditions and record waiting lists for millions of patients who are now stuck in a backlog. A mental health epidemic has resulted, and domestic violence rose to astronomical levels as people were forced to stay inside without any access to community support services. And our children's futures have been damaged by the severe disruption to the education system, with so many days lost where children were unable to socialize, unable to play, they were forced to wear masks. And students in higher education had their degrees sabotaged. All of this is going to have a lasting impact on young people's futures. Meanwhile, the government assumed an unchallengeable power as democracy eroded with the collapse of parliamentary process, with all the checks and balances and debate gone with it. The test and trace policies represented an entry point to the emergence of a biosurveillance state, where later vaccine passports threatened to segregate society based upon private medical decisions. In short, we were locked down, shut in, all whilst our human rights and our personal freedoms were eroded and our livelihoods, well-being, and economy were devastated. The fear-based approach to COVID-19 represents the failure to determine a proportionate response that balances the individual risks of the virus with the individual and societal well-being. The short and long-term costs and collateral damage of policies were seemingly left off the table, and we are now all feeling those challenges. So if you have felt the effects of the government's response to COVID-19 in the United Kingdom over the past 2 years, and like me, you are concerned about our future in the United Kingdom, then it's now vital that you make your voice heard through the UK COVID-19 public inquiry. The COVID-19 online process gives you the opportunity to share how your life was impacted by the pandemic response and the impact it's had upon you. The experiences gathered by the public inquiry will be summarised and submitted as evidence to the inquiry's modules and hearings. And the process is broken down into 3 steps. Firstly, you'll be asked to choose from a list of topics relating to your experience, and I'll cover these shortly. You'll then be asked 3 questions relating to your experience. What happened or what is happening? How has this affected you and the people around you? And what you think could be learned? And then finally, within the inquiry process, you'll be asked some information about you, but don't worry, no personal details are collected. Now, for some, recalling these events may be emotionally challenging. And as such, the inquiry has provided a list of external organizations which can provide support if it is needed. And the link to the online form to join the public inquiry can be found within the description of this video. I'm going to take a moment now to share with you the form and how you can take part in the survey. The link, as I said, is in with the description, but on the COVID-19 website, you'll find this new tab here called Share Your Experience. And when you click on this tab, you'll have the opportunity to click through to the form, and it explains exactly what you need to do and how to take part. There are different ways that you can take part if you require a different format. If not, you can simply click Continue. And as I mentioned, you'll see the list of areas where you can make your voice heard. Everything from having COVID-19 itself, the impact on families, including relationships, children and older relatives, COVID testing and vaccinations, losing someone due to COVID-19, the NHS and health services, community, loss of access to places of worship and other community services, mental health, education, everyday life, official information, including government public messaging, jobs, finances, and business, including furlough, unfair treatment, whether that's discrimination or harassment, and general well-being, for example, living with COVID itself or long COVID. And then finally, care, whether it be care homes or social care. And in the unlikely event that you experience something positive, you also have the opportunity to share that as well. So as I mentioned, the link can be found on the description for this video, and you are perfectly able to make your voice heard as part of this inquiry. Will it make a difference? Will your voice be heard? Time will tell. But if we don't take this opportunity to raise our voice, then we can be rest assured that these views will not be included in the public inquiry. So if you've been harmed by what's happened over the last couple of years, please take action now, make your voice heard, and submit your response to the COVID-19 public inquiry in the United Kingdom. This is your chance to have your say about everything that has gone before us over the last couple of years. My name is Astin-Gregory. This is the Pandemic Podcast. And if you know someone else who has been impacted by the response to COVID, like I know millions of us have, those of us who marched together through the streets in London, those of us who have campaigned over the last couple of years together, please do share this video. Please share this video and share the message that we must make our voices heard. And this is an opportunity to do so. Thanks again for watching. I hope that you will join me in making your voice heard.